So plateaus, the way I like looking at it is plateaus are actually just data. It's just data. Your body's telling you, hey, this is maintenance now. So if you keep doing the same things, I'm going to keep staying the same. I'm going to keep maintaining. Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Systems Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Mo. Today's healthy system topic is something that a lot of you will be able to relate to. So the topic is why you stop losing weight even though you're still trying. So that's what we'll talk about. Overall, we're talking about fitness plateaus, why your weight loss may have plateaued, why your fitness, even, muscle strength, all of those things have probably started to plateau. So people often tell us, right, clients, non-clients even, they're like, hey, my body adapted, right? But the reality is, it's not that your body adapted. It's that your inputs, the things you're doing for it, have stayed exactly the same. So our body, human body, was meant to adapt. It generally gets used to doing the same thing, right? So that's where people start doing something, they get really good results at first, and then it plateaus. They're like, but I'm not growing. I'm not going 2x the rate that I thought I would be going. It's because your inputs have stayed the same. You're doing the same workouts. You're eating the same food around the same quantity. Your effort level is the same. So your body didn't plateau. Your system did. Your routine did, right? So you're not stuck. You just haven't changed anything. So that's what this episode is about. And I want to start this off by addressing a big reframe around plateaus. So you see, plateaus are not anything more than just feedback. So plateaus are feedback, not failure. So anytime you hit a plateau, it doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're getting some feedback from your body, right? So plateaus, the way I like looking at it is plateaus are actually just data. It's just data. Your body's telling you, hey, this is maintenance now. So if you keep doing the same things, I'm going to keep staying the same. I'm going to keep maintaining, right? That generally means you found your current baseline. It's like, okay, this is where my body will just maintain. It's this new baseline for it. So the reframe I want you to think of when it comes to plateau is, instead of thinking of them as failure, think of them as, hey, I just graduated to a new level. Okay, so that's what a plateau is. It's feedback, it's data that, hey, my body has found its new baseline. It's not going to change. So I need to graduate to a new level. Okay, so plateaus can be your best friend. So here's 5 reasons why you plateau. Number 1, no progression, right? With your strength training workouts, there hasn't been any progression. You likely are using the same weights and lifting them for the same amount of reps and sets. So you're working out, but you're not really training. You see, training there's a push aspect to it. There's like, hey, I'm going to go harder today than I did a week ago or yesterday or a month ago, right? So you likely are not making training. That's number 1 reason, which is hidden inconsistency, right? You miss days, you miss weeks sometimes. You don't train on the weekends. You miss 5 days a week because work was busy. Then you were traveling. Then you went to Europe. And all of a sudden, you haven't really been training. So it is reasonable for you to hit a plateau because you have a consistency problem, right? You think you're consistent, but in reality, you are not, right? That's number 2. Number 3 is what we call nutritionally caloric creep, which means that small snacks, small drinks, they add up, right? So you're eating good foods. You're like, Mo, I eat this for lunch, breakfast, dinner, but you don't account for the snacks you have throughout the day, right? That one cafe frappuccino or whatever you grab from Starbucks on the way to work. That's the kind of stuff that starts to creep up. So that's where your weight is plateaued, because not only are you not progressing in the gym, not only do you have hidden inconsistency, but now the calories are creeping up from the snacking. Part 4 is low movement, right? That's where a lot of the time you get busy with life, so you start walking less. The weather gets cold, you start walking less. You got a job that requires you to be on your desk 12 hours a day. Now you're walking even less, right? We've dealt with clients that were literally, when we started working with them, they were walking like maybe 200 steps a day. Like walking to the kitchen, grabbing water, and that was it. That was their entire movement, right? So at the end of the day, when you have a really low step count, that stuff starts to matter because our body was meant to move. So no shit, you're going to hit a plateau, right? And then part 5 is stress and poor sleep. So when you're not getting enough sleep, your stress level is high, your cortisol spikes through the roof. That's a hormone. Water retention increases too. So now you're retaining more water, your cortisol is high, and that in physical form looks like no progress. So those are the 5 reasons you likely plateaued. 1, you're not making progress in the gym. 2, hidden inconsistency. 3, the calories are creeping with your snacks. Part 4, low movement. Your step count is too low. Part five, stress and poor sleep. So here's the truth that most people don't want, right? Don't want to hear, which is the leaner you get, the harder it becomes. Meaning, as you go below a certain body fat percentage, what happens is now to break that plateau, we need to go a little bit harder, right? So you're going to be more hungry. You're going to have less energy. You're going to have more resistance from your body. And that's biology. That's not failure, right? So at times, if you're trying to break past a plateau, you're going to have to deal with that. And for a time period before your body thinks of it as the new baseline, it's going to fight you a little bit. Your hunger will hit harder. You're fighting your biology, right? So the key line here is whenever you hit a plateau, it's not failure. It's just feedback. It just means you're closer to a breakthrough. And the challenge is most people quit right there. They just quit, right? They get to that point, they hit a plateau and they're like, I guess this wasn't for me. I can never lose belly fat. You know, the amount of time I've heard that is way too many, right? It's not that you cannot lose belly fat. It's just that your systems and inputs, you're not doing the right things. You're not even doing the right things, first of all. And second, even if you are doing the right things, you're not doing them in the right sequence and in the right intensity, right? So sequence means you might be doing one thing before the other, and then you're out of order. So like you're not getting the optimal results. And on the other side, you're not doing it with the same intensity or high enough intensity. So after a while, the workouts that used to work last year no longer are working for your body because your body wants change. It's not going to adapt. It gets adapted, right? It sticks with the same thing. So at the end of the day, if you want change, you got to change the routine. You got to change the inputs. So that's where that plateau concept gets a lot of like bad rep is people don't understand it. They don't know what causes it. So they feel like a failure. So they end up quitting. They're like, I hit a plateau, then I quit. Like, no, plateau was just feedback, right? So you don't need more motivation. Hell, sometimes you don't even need a new plan. You don't need a new reset. What you actually need is some smart adjustments. So you might need smart adjustments to your exercise routine. That's where having a coach is really helpful, is because we change this stuff in real time, right? So we work with our clients. We get to see where the plateau is happening, right? So we have in Training with the Times, I'll give you guys a sneak peek. We have a full-on diagram of, 10 different things that cause weight loss to plateau. So when we work with our clients, and let's say like 2 weeks in a row, the weight has stayed the same, and the client is like, I can't figure it out. The coaches have a diagram where they go through like more like a binary tree where it's like, okay, did you do this? It's like, okay, yes, I did. Okay, if you did this, then what about this? Did you do that too? No, I didn't. Okay, that's where we need to work on this week. Or if we keep going down the cycle and we realize, okay, these are one or two things that are actually keeping you stuck. So we can properly diagnose is like, okay, this is the reason you're not losing weight. We look at it, since we're scientists or engineers from our undergrad days, we always look at it as like feedback. It's like, okay, the system is giving us this feedback. Now this is how we adjust. But far too often, weight loss is hard because it is very psychological. So at times you're going to be fighting your own mind. So at times what we see with clients, depending on how they grew up, is there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of guilt associated with weight loss or weight gain. So sometimes we have to even though we do a really good job talking to clients, some clients feel a little ashamed. So they don't even tell the coach the full story sometimes, right? Because they're like, yeah, I binge ate on Tuesday night, right? But the relationship we build with our clients is that you can be open about it. But I think sometimes when you're working with some other trainers and coaches who might not be as invested in you as we are with our clients, you might be hiding things from your own coach. And then now the plateaus get harder and harder because now the coach is like, yeah, I guess I'll just change the plan. I guess I'll just give you a new workout plan, right? And mind you, we aren't perfect. Humans aren't perfect. So trainers aren't perfect. Clients aren't perfect. The amount of time where the clients are like, yeah, coach, they sign up with us, right? And they're trying to lose weight. They're like, we give them like a really good workout plan. They're like, yeah, I know how to do these exercises. Can you give me something new? It's like, it's not about new. It's about doing the stuff that works and starting there and then progressing from there. We had a girl that messaged us 2 years ago, and she was 220 pounds at 5'3". And she worked with us. I think she didn't even start yet. And she's like, yeah, show me some stuff that you guys would do for me. We started walking her through some samples. And she goes, yeah, I already know how to do that. I'll just do it on my own. And 2 years and 2 months later, last week, she messaged us. And we asked her, hey, did you make progress? How are you doing? Because you never worked with us to begin with. She's in exactly the same weight. If she was 3 pounds heavier than she was 2 years ago. And in her mind, she's like, yeah, I can do it on my own. And I'm like, how's that been working out for you? Right? You're clearly not somebody that is wanting to admit that, okay, I need help. but it's okay to ask for help because these plateaus, naturally, you will get sucked in. And then your own brain psychology fights with you, where you're like, no, you're perfect. Keep doing what you're doing. And then your body looks the same. Your weight doesn't change. And year after year, it gets harder and harder to lose weight because you're naturally fighting your biological clock in a sense, right? Because after the age of 30, your muscle mass starts going down, bone density starts going down. So unless we take actions against it, you're getting older faster than you even realize it, right? So that's where if you hit a plateau, and like you try some of these things on your own and it's just psychologically it's tough for you to make changes, hire a coach, come work with us, right? That's what we do for a living at Training with the Titans, where we help our clients one-on-one. So you can go to our website, twtt.us, fill out a quick application, pick a time on my calendar or my head coach's calendar, and we'll talk to you. And then we can figure out a good plan. But overall, plateaus are just feedback. Plateaus are not failure. And if you do these things that I talked about, the 5 things that might be causing your plateau, right? The progression, start progressing in the gym, start changing up the weight, start changing up the reps and the sets, right? Start being more consistent. Find out if there's hidden inconsistency in your schedule, right? And then the caloric creep, if you're eating healthy with your breakfast, lunch, dinner, but you're snacking during the day, try to fix that. Low movement, you may not be walking enough, fix that. Then part 5 is your sleep and your stress. Try to manage the external and the internal stress as well as fixing your sleep. You do that, plateaus start becoming more and more manageable. But even after doing that, or you're like, I don't even know how to actually like apply that into my life, that's where a coaching program can be really helpful to you. Come work with us one-on-one and we can guide you step by step with all of this. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I enjoy talking on this topic just because as a coach, I've coached hundreds and thousands of clients at this point in the last 9 years. We deal with this. We've heard of this issue a lot. And it's often the number one reason people quit on their fitness journey. They hit a plateau, they think of this as a failure. They're like, I'm out. This doesn't work for me, right? But in reality, plateaus is not failure. Anytime you hit a plateau, it's not failure. It's just feedback. It's just feedback that your body's giving you that, hey, I'm adapting. Adapt with me. Adapt the routine with me, okay? So I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. 1, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at Moegayus, MOE, as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.